Hello, and welcome to the ENG Youth Netball Premier League 23-24 review show.
Oh, Martin, it's only taken you 3 years, mate, but you smashed it there, mate. I'm telling you.
I did smash it. Right, okay, coming on today, we have Will Oldham's vulnerabilities lead Leeds Athletic into a false sense of security. Leeds looks favourite to win the under-13 North, but who's going to be fourth? Oh, sorry, Bury look likely to qualify as well. So, who will be fourth? That's quite a good one, that man. And
yeah, it's all up in the air, mate.
What's that?
It's all up in the air. We'll look at the tables in a minute, and it's a bit messy.
I'll tell you what, definitely messy. And there was some interesting stuff happening this week or this weekend. Change of. Well, can I do my news item?
No, I haven't emailed yet, so don't say anything.
About what?
About the change.
No. I was talking about Ellesmere Port. I went up to their coach and said, "What's her name?" She's gonna have to kill me because I can't remember her name. And I said, "I need some of your some of your kit. I need to test your kit." She's like, "What are you talking about?" So ever since you got that new kit, you've been
saying that, it could be unlucky because Ellesmere Port played incredibly well against Oldham and lost in the last couple of minutes. The under-10s team, another amazing Ellesmere Port team off the factory line. They were 1 minute away. They were 3 points ahead. 1 minute to go. And in netball, especially in, I would say, youth netball, under-10s level, scoring 3 goals in a minute is not easy. Well, Sutton Town.
What, Sutton Town?
That's what I'm saying. Sutton Town went and scored 3 times to take it into overtime. You could easily have forgotten you was watching an under-10s game.
Mate, when
it was that good.
Me, you were like, and you watching under. I was like, do you know what? I totally forgot it was under-10.
You forgot, didn't you?
I did. I was just like, oh my word. And do you know what Jack said to me? Right? Don't take this wrong, people. Yeah, but it's the kind of thing what was going on at the moment. It was like, you seem to be having the best games on your court.
That's a conspiracy.
In court B. So, because I like to train people up and make sure they know all their stuff. So he got court A and I got court B, and I was like, "Oh mate, that's Sutton Town."
Well, they went on one in the overtime, and then in the final of the under-12s one, Sutton Town was smashing it, but then Ellesmere Port come back. I feel sorry for shooters in this situation, but with 10-15 seconds to go, Ellesmere Port could have won it. Didn't come to fruition. Then Sutton Town could have won it in the last seconds of overtime, missed, and then it went to golden goal, and then Sutton Town won. So maybe the dresses are a bit of a curse, mine.
I disagree, mate. I disagree. I think it's one of those things. It's giving them that sort of confidence, and now they're like, right, to lose by a golden goal. I know some people go, "Oh," but I'm not being funny. That's not a bad way to lose. As in, it was just a golden goal that one. You were drawn.
Golden goals, or do you know what they should do? And I've just had a thought now. So what we do, if it goes to overtime, we carry on with whoever centre pass is. So we start the game again, and then we continue with whoever centre pass is. But if it goes beyond the 2 minutes, I think a bit like a penalty shootout. I think you've had your time. Just we'll flick a coin and we decide who gets a centre pass type of thing. But maybe a tip off. A tip off.
Ooh.
So just throw the ball up in the air and they just.
Yeah, that's a good one. Do you know what? I prefer that rather than a coin toss.
Yeah, me too. I think a tip off. How does a tip off work in netball? They used to do tip offs.
Yeah, but they throw the ball up and then whoever gets it, isn't it? Simple.
Yeah, but how? Yeah, so they used to do tip offs.
Tip it, but you can actually tip it to your opponent, or you can tip it to your. You know what I mean? It's that sort of thing that it is like. You know what I mean? Throwing up a
50-50 in it. I just feel sorry for the umpire who throws it up because they get blamed if the other team gets it.
Right. I'll tell you what, if that ball goes in one different way, Do you know what though? You were going to try and bring in penalty shootouts, if you remember back in the day. Hey, hi Ed Stevens, nice to see you joining us. Let us know your thoughts. Do comment as well as everybody else, and also if Ellesmere Port there, come on, we'll bring you online.
Oh, your dress is cursed, Ellesmere Port.
Right, there's got to be a vote now. You've got to put a vote out. Is it a curse? I don't think it is. To me, I think it's just building up its energy, mate. And then Ellesmere Port are just going to like rock the house, man. They're going to just be like every sort of league, just taking it down. You watch.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you don't know what we're talking about the under 10, under 12s netball cup, our cup event alongside our league. It's the first time we've ever done an under 10s national tournament. I think it's the first time probably it's ever been done in netball. Full stop. Where we're directly identifying who the best teams are in the country and then getting them to compete. Blah blah blah. Yeah. And you know what? I don't know. I wouldn't say I was apprehensive, but I wasn't expecting too much. I kind of thought this would probably be nice and chilled. And it had the same energy, the same unpredictability, had a superb standard of play. And one thing which I've got to applaud them on is the efficiency getting it on and off the court. Now,
okay, people. I've got to tell you this. The most frustrating thing for Richard is making sure that these games go to time and correct, because obviously it's a lot. There's a lot going on, isn't there? There is a hell of a lot. And when you got teams who are literally doing their chanting and everything, it's like, I mean, the best question is
Martin. It drives. I get angry thinking about it. Like, we've got 1 minute to turn the game over, and people are doing POMs, play other matches.
Oh, mate. So when do we get to warm up? It's like, why aren't you warming up outside, ready to come into the game?
Oh no! Look, it's just the under 10s showed every other age group. Basically, I think the older they get, the more misbehaved they get. But the under 10s, they literally were just like, bang, 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 bang. And I thought to myself, it's not hard, because the under 10s are so efficient at getting on and off the court. It was dreamy. It was just unbelievable. So under 10s, well done for showing the netball world how to efficiently get on and off a court. So hopefully this weekend we have the same. But we are in Essex this weekend for the under 10s and under 12s Eastern finals. I can't wait. Like, I do love my league, don't get me wrong.
Oh, man,
but the Netball Cup events, they are bad. They are bad. I was about to say a bit of a swear word there, but bad. I don't know. I'm about to add to it now, but they're just amazing. So, and we've got like a repetition of. So the under 10s are going to be sorted by February the 18th. So we know by February the 18th who our national finalists are, which is quite a cool thing, because we've got East this week, the South the week after. Then we've got that big day in the North. So we're doing the Northern Conference on the Saturday. Yeah. Then it's the double header on the Sunday. So the under 10s, under 12s on the Sunday. So by then we will know exactly which under 10s teams have qualified for the national finals.
And under 12s.
Do you know what? We will do a special review show for the under 10s when we find out, Martin. How about that?
What about the under 12s? Under 12s will be also sorted as well, won't they?
No, the under 12s is going to be done by March the 2nd.
All right, okay. All right.
So, under 10s, this is a promise. Once we get your regional heats done, we'll scrap the Youth Netball Premier League review show for 1 week. And we do a review show. Yeah, we're still calling it the review show, but we'll bring you on the under 10s, and we'll do the draw live as well.
I'm about to say that, and we'll do the draw as well, mate, because that will.
Yeah.
Or maybe we get quite a few of them on as well, saying, right, who don't you want and stuff, and then
proper little press conference on here. We're going to talk tonight obviously about Oldham's. Oldham, they're playing their part in entertaining the league this season. Very unpredictable in regards to what you're going to get in terms of, is it going to be a high score line? Are they going to potentially lose a game? It's just very up and down, but it's enjoyable to watch. I do enjoy it. But I do find when teams show that vulnerability, or they don't really peak, they're building up to the peak. Whereas Leeds Athletic at the moment, they're looking faultless. So sometimes it tells me when you're looking so faultless, there's at some point there's going to be a fault in the system.
Oh yeah, well there is that, isn't there? It goes without saying that.
I think. Well, if you look at Sutton Town on Sunday, they played Ellesmere Port in the group stages of the Netball Cup. I wouldn't say they got hammered, but they got hammered in the first 5 or 6 minutes, come back into the game, but there wasn't enough time. But that was probably beneficial to them to basically go and play them in the semi-finals. So again, Oldham are having those types of games where they're digging deep. You know, it's not going their way, whether it's umpire decisions, whether it's match play. So they're kind of learning how to win kind of ugly, as well as trying to play good netball. But so, you know, that hardening of their skin, will that make a big difference coming towards a Leeds Athletic game? Whereas Leeds at the moment are just blowing teams away one by one. And when that kind of upheaval kicks in, will they be ready for it? Whereas Oldham have had that now. I think every single round they've had a tough game. They had Bury, they had a tough game against obviously Manchester Wildcats. They had a tough game at Ellesmere Port. We're all sitting there pulling our hair out and chewing our fingernails. It was quite unbearable to watch at times. Yeah, even like my score taker Lily, she goes, I can't watch this. I said, well, please do, because if you get the score wrong, I'm going to get beaten up. Oh. You know, you don't get a score wrong against Ellesmere Port. Come on, you might as well.
Dead man walking.
So, yeah, if I look at like Oldham, look at their games they've played. Like against Bury, they won by 1 point. Surely Inferno wasn't an easy game they played. It was 10 points, but they still had a good scrap. The Tameside gave them a good game as well. It wasn't a straightforward win, and obviously the 2 games this weekend. They won by 3 points and 2 points. With the Ellesmere Port game, they were kind of 3 point. I think they were one or 2 points down with like 3 or 4 minutes to go, and it just shows you like that's the difference, isn't it? Yeah. Like keeping your cool, and being able to just focus and stay disciplined and keep your emotions intact all the way to the end. Because they got through that. That was a storm, and they managed to get through it. So well done to Oldham. So we're going to look. We probably talked about it already. To be honest,
Shall I bring up the results?
Yeah, bring up the results. So I think
I was waiting.
That vulnerability Oldham have at the moment. I think it is going to do them well. I think it'll do them well leading into the final games of the season and the national finals. So the scores from this week: Manchester Wildcats 25, Oldham 28. Manchester Wildcats up in the first quarter. I think it was a draw in the second quarter. Then Oldham went ahead. Then Manchester Wildcats had a bit of a comeback in the fourth quarter. They could have won it. Like they had opportunities. They had opportunities to get back in the game or go ahead, and especially in the latter parts of the game, and just didn't take the opportunities. And when they present themselves, you've got to take them. Ellesmere Port Chester, very one-sided. Ellesmere Port won the game. Manchester Wildcats versus Tameside. This is a surprise, to be honest, because after the performance against Oldham,
but maybe they used up all their energy, mate.
Yeah, you burn out mentally, don't you?
They underestimated Tameside.
I think it's that. I think Tameside are a lot better than we all think, and maybe just not ready. You know, after such a tough game as Oldham, it would have been easy to think, oh, well, this one's not going to be as tough. And the scoreline suggests that a Tameside team was tougher.
Yeah. Sometimes when you look at that score, though, you know, it doesn't actually prove what actually happened. You know what I mean? When you see like there's a goal in it, fine. But when you see like, oh, it was 10 points, it's like, no, that could actually happen in literally a minute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It literally is. Like, it could all come down to like the final quarter and they make a change. And You know what I mean? I look at these scores sometimes, and I go, that is not reflective of, we stream for 10 hours, right? And I got to admit, except you, Richard, I've got to admit, probably us two are the only people in the whole entire country who watch as much netball than anybody else.
Yeah.
I think you watch more than I, because obviously you got the other parts that we don't live stream. But I mean, 10 hours of live streaming of netball on for instance, the Saturday, but we have this every YNPL. I look at some of the, obviously when you update the scores, the update scores, and it's like, that's not reflective from what I remember.
No. That's what winds me up a little bit about netball. You can have some really good games and then turn around and say, for someone to say, oh, what's the score? And you're like, well, it's 43 or whatever. And they're like, well, that was a bit one-sided. And you're like, well, no, it wasn't. And it's just, it's one of those sports that if you switch off for 1 or 2 minutes, it can look like it was an easy win when in fact it wasn't. Leeds have same side, Oldham versus Ellesmere Port, 29-27. A superb game. It'll go down as one of the best games of the season by far.
I would like to add, right? I didn't know they changed their kit, and I'm looking, going, I haven't put down the wrong. Me and Jack were looking at each other, going, what? And then I've gone up to change, like, in my panic mode, like, I've got to change this, I've got to change that. The updates have gone out, and then I'm like, oh, what's their new kit?
Well, I think it's everyone who sees Ellesmere Port now is like, they got new dresses. They don't wear the classic Ellesmere Port dress anymore. So so maybe that was more iconic, the last dress. What do you prefer, Martin? The last one or this one?
I think I'm going this one.
I'm going this one. Yeah. I kept telling Ellesmere Port to change their kits for many years, and they finally listened to me. So there you go. Well done, Ellesmere Port. But the game against Oldham, first quarter, 12-5, I think it was, in the first quarter to Ellesmere Port, yeah. Second quarter, it might have been 11-5. Second quarter, Oldham come back into it, but they were still winning. I think it was maybe 3 or 4 points at halftime. Then they were drawing, I believe, after the third quarter. Then the fourth quarter, I think Oldham went ahead at some point, and Ellesmere Port come back to lead, and then Oldham went and won the game. So Ellesmere Port wasn't losing at any point in any quarter. Well, they were losing at points, but when the quarters had ended, up until the fourth one, they hadn't lost a single quarter. That is just so unlucky. If you said to someone, right, before this game begins, a team will go in after each quarter without losing a single quarter until the fourth starts, you put all your money to say, well, that team will probably go and win.
Yeah.
But maybe they should base netball games on quarters you win.
No.
Bit too extreme, yeah?
Hey, that's too extreme, mate. Look, do you think that Ellesmere Port, right, I know I'm going to get ripped apart for saying this, yeah? Do you think they might have got cocky after the first quarter when they were up by 7 points?
No, there's no chance. I think no one gets cocky against Oldham. If anything, it goes back to the Frank Bruno comment he made when he hit Mike Tyson. He said, I couldn't believe I hit him. I think Ellesmere Port was Frank Bruno. They couldn't believe they were in such a good position. And
that's what I mean, because they thought we're winning. Do you think they might have come off the pedal a bit, or
no?
They're wondering why they're winning and they overthought it? And because
I think that. I think when you're expected not to do well, you play with an air of freedom, which allows you to be in that position. But all of a sudden, you're now the team expected to win, so you've got to take on that responsibility. And people are, there's an expectation on you, and you've got to live up to it. And I think that was the bit they struggled with, because sometimes it's easier chasing the game than it is actually being ahead. I think teams like Oldham and stuff are masters of being ahead and staying ahead. So
they are.
Both teams were in a position which they don't normally find themselves in, And Oldham, even though the cracks were there, I don't think they enjoyed that process. But out of the two teams, they were both in kind of in territory they weren't used to. I think out of both teams, obviously Oldham took that controlled that experience a lot better than Ellesmere. Well, not a lot better, but a little bit better than Ellesmere Port, which meant they ain't got the win. And the Ellesmere Port coaches know it. You can't fault the performance, but the frustration is could have won, could have done it. Definitely. But that's the mental part of sport, which I don't think a lot of people tap into or focus on. You go training, you talk about move, you try and make that pass and that movement in a situation where it's do or die.
Yeah,
it becomes a different ball game. So it's not about whether someone can pass the ball or move for the ball or shoot the ball. It's whether they can do it in the highest intense environments possible. And that's why we do these competitions and these leagues. And that's why we do the way we do it, because you've got to learn how to cope in that environment. And I've admitted many a times, one of the biggest reason I wasn't a football player was because I couldn't control my performance in high intense environments, especially the older I got. Maybe when I was younger and I was a bit more fearless, I just went around just absolutely poleaxing everyone. But when it become more technical and more kind of, in more intelligent, actually, I kind of, and if someone said to me, "Oh, the first team manager's there," oh my God, couldn't control it. Absolute abysmal. Bottled it big time. So I know what it's like. I know what it's like, and it's something I'm passionate about in regards to make it, because I never had that training. No one ever sat me down and went, right, this is, we never had built sessions where we had to basically perform and basically control our environment. It was just train, prepare, but never prepared you mentally. It was always in a technical level, and I wish it was more mental based. I wish they'd have put us under more extreme pressure in training so we could take that mindset into a game.
There's a lot to be said for that. But Oldham, Oldham, obviously, I'd love to have a camera on them, and coach was talking to him and saying, like, right, we've got to sort this out. This ain't happening.
Yeah,
it would be nice. Maybe we'll bring it in next season where we put it on. What do you think, people? Put it on the coaches. So, because we zoom in on them, but we obviously make it so that you can't hear them. So, but yeah, maybe that's
Coach Cam next season, like a camera step. Oh, that would be a mental.
Thomas said, "Nah." Oh, why do you reckon he said nah? Why, Tom? Why? Tell us why. I know why.
Poor umpires would never come back, I don't think.
What, umpires? What?
Well, if you had a coach cam.
Yeah, they'd be fine. No problem. You got to deal with it.
So yeah, Tom could maybe shed some light on it, but I do think it was healthy for Oldham. I think it is something all good teams need. They need to be pushed. They need to be able to come through tough games, and the fact that they still won shows you that they've got that ability to win. Even though they played great netball, I just think it was just two amazing teams going head to head against each other. There's no shame in losing or winning by 2 points to Ellesmere Port. Yeah. Ellesmere Port's position in the league is ridiculous for the talent they have, to be honest. But yeah, well done to Oldham. Well done.
So part of the game plan. Make it interesting for you.
There you go. Brilliant. That's what we like to hear. It's like they reckon the NFL is scripted, don't they?
And basketball. Oh no, that's magnets.
Yeah, no, but they reckon it's all scripted. So Tom is exposing that ENG. All the clubs get a script at the start of the season, and they've got to play to the script.
Do you reckon they do that in football as well?
No, because the footballers can't read.
I'm going to clip that, and I'm going to put it out. So say it about yourself, mate. That's what's so
precisely. I know from experience.
Exactly.
Tameside, thinking back to it, is that what they used to give us at the start of the season?
Is that what I gave you pictures, you mean? What?
So Tameside, Chester, to be fair to them, they performed a lot better.
Ball, you got to play it to the left. The other left, Richard. The other left. We used to do these like assessments on a Monday. So we'd play on a Saturday, come in on the Monday and do these assessments. Yeah.
And the coach used to ask us out of 10, how much do you reckon you got? And some people used to be like, oh, no, you'd always say a lesser number, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And someone would say 5. No, I think you got an 8 because you worked hard, even though you didn't have your best day. You had a positive attitude. And I'll be like 5, and he'd be like, nah, 3. And I'm like, yeah, but I had a positive attitude. Like, why am I not getting kudos for having a positive attitude? And it's like, well, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. I'm like, yeah, but I still had a positive attitude. He just got an 8 for having a positive attitude.
Yeah, but he also worked hard, mate.
Mate, I did work hard. I just couldn't kick the ball. But let's move on to Tameside, Chester. Chester performed better than they did against Ellesmere Port. But Tameside, good win. But they were my team of the week. Back-to-back wins. Very, very good professional performance from Tameside, and that gives them a great chance of top 4 finish. Leeds Athletic, Grangetown. Probably what we were talking about, the scoreline, but Grangetown in the first couple of quarters done very well. They gave Leeds a very good game. Just couldn't sustain that pressure. But no,
I was surprised actually. I thought Grangetown would carry it on through, but obviously Leeds just went to
machines, 11. Mate. Machines.
Just went to 11. Just tied up.
Yeah. Chorley, Bury, it felt sorry for Chorley. Players missing because of commitments elsewhere. So Bury had a little free hit that game. So 38-11. Northwich, Grangetown, good game. Again, not a one-sided game because Grangetown, this game was, I think, 1 or 2 points in it going up into the fourth quarter. Grangetown pulled away. Big win, by the way, because when we look at the table, gives them again. It's just a big win. We'll talk about the table in a minute. Leeds, Chorley, they had a few of their players come back, put up a very good performance. Again, the score's not a million miles away from Leeds. So, but I feel sorry for Chorley because they're a great club. They've come into this league with a lot of enthusiasm. Every single round, they've had to put up with some sort of clash, which has pulled players away from the games, which is very frustrating. I was about to say frustrating for the girls and the club because they've got so much potential, but we're just not seeing what they're capable of because they haven't had their full team consistently so far this season.
Why is that?
What's that? Well, we got onto it. Bury, Northwich Sapphires. So Bury, good game this was. Northwich Sapphires, another club I feel sorry for a little bit. They get a lot of players leave, like some of their best players leave, 3 or 4 players, but they're still playing good netball, still competitive. Gave Bury a very good game, but Bury won, and I think Bury now they had a tough start to the season, played some tough teams, but I think now Bury are relatively sorted in regards to finishing in the top 4. They're not going to come in the top 2. I think 3rd place, but they're going to be 3rd. And I think there's going to be a huge battle for 4th, which we're going to look at now because it's an absolute mess.
Drums, please. There we go. Da, 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 da.
So if we look at the table, so Chester, if we look at Chester's games, I looked at their games and I kind of thought to myself, well, if they play some teams in and around them, they might have a chance. But their running is super tough. They've got Bury.
Oh.
They've got Oldham the next 2 games, Bury and Oldham. So it's just like, I feel it's just not and then they got Manchester Wildcats. And so I hate to say it.
I don't think they.
I don't think they're going to come out of this one. It's too many points. And what we're seeing this season in a lot of our leagues is teams with 3 or 4 points in the relegation zone. We've never had that before, ever.
Right. Yeah.
So it just shows you the competitiveness of the leagues. We've never had this, like Manchester Wildcats. How the hell are they in the relegation zone?
Mate, you've even got Ellesmere, Northwich, Chorley, all of them. They're really fighting.
How can Ellesmere Port be 1 point away from being relegated?
It's like, okay.
So I think Chester, don't hate me for this. Don't hate me for this, but I think Chester is going to be tough to come back from this one. Some tough games coming up and just too many points away with 3 games to go. But then we've got a situation, we've got Manchester Wildcats. So I'm going to leave Ellesmere Port out of this.
Right.
And I'm going to say the relegation battle is on between Manchester Wildcats, Chorley and Northwich. Let's going to have a look at their fixtures to see who they've got. So
because I'm going to need to swap. I wonder if I could do something that's a bit of a cheat. Let's have a look. Let's see if I can use my cleverness. There we go.
That's cool.
It would be if it did it the way I wanted it. Oh, why does it not do? There we go. Oh, there. Windows, what are you doing? There we go. Sorry, just playing, Rich. Just playing. This is
our chat while you sort that out. Yeah. So Manchester Wildcats played Northwich Sapphires. So we've got 9th versus 7th in the next games. Then Northwich play Oldham. So Northwich will have to focus massively on that, trying to get a win against Manchester Wildcats. Manchester Wildcats will play Ellesmere Port. So what a games they are for Manchester Wildcats. They need to get one win. They have to get one win at least in those 2 games.
So who are we talking about? Wildcats. Sorry, I finally.
Yeah, Manchester Wildcats.
Yeah. So
if we look at. Sorry,
this is quite cool. No, I thought of this. Right.
So Manchester Wildcats are playing Northwich Sapphires, and they're playing Ellesmere Port in the next 2 games.
Right. That's going to be interesting.
Oh, it's going to be mental. Chorley have Tameside, and they have Grangetown. Right. Now, this gives, based on the games Manchester Wildcats have, their focus has got to be making sure they qualify for the championship finals. Because don't forget, we've got the 5th to 8th place competition. That's their focus. For me, Chorley, they have the potential to potentially win these next 2 games. They're both winnable games for Chorley. I've seen enough of Chorley to know that these 2 games are winnable. So if they win those 2 games, they go up to 8 points in the table. If Ellesmere Port win their next 2 games, which is against they've got 2 massive games coming. They got Manchester Wildcats and Leeds Athletic. If they can pull off a shock win against Leeds, or even if they win 1 game, here's a scenario: Chorley Inferno. Just say Chorley win 1 game, Ellesmere Port win 1 game, Tameside win 1 game, and I don't know, Grangetown. Who Grangetown got? They've got Chorley and Bury, and Grangetown lose 2 games.
So Grangetown.
Then you've got
they got Bury and Chorley. But see, there you go, Grangetown. And they got 7 points. So yeah, mate.
You could have a situation where Tameside could be on 8.
Yeah.
Grangetown on 7, Ellesmere Port on 6, Chorley on 6. And if you then go to the final games of the season, you then have Tameside taking on Grangetown.
Yeah.
Ellesmere Port versus Ellesmere Port got a terrible run in. They got Bury, they got Leeds. But that's a winnable game for Ellesmere Port. They're going to have to win all 3 games. Yeah. But they're going to have to win all 3 games to qualify for this league. I think it's going to be the first time ever a team that comes 4th will have more than 10 points.
I'll tell you what, mate. If Ellesmere qualify for the grand finals, those other teams in the grand finals better look out, because I'll tell you what, for them.
Well, if they qualify in fourth, you ain't going to want to win. If you win the Southern Conference, you're not going to be too happy about that game, are you?
That's what I mean. They will be on one, man. Liverpool will be lit up, and that will be partying until the grand finals day, and they'll still keep going because I know what they're like for partying.
Yeah, yeah. So
not it's more than that.
It's correct, but I'm gonna, based on the games, I'm gonna say. Well, that's a tough one. It is a tough one. I'm gonna say, I think Tameside will sneak in fourth. I think Ellesmere Port just lost one game too many. They're running Leeds Athletic, Bury, and Manchester Wildcats.
Grange's got Bury. I think Grangetown. Who have they got in the last one? They've got Tameside. I think it'll be Grangetown.
It could be between Tameside and Grangetown at the last game of the season.
Exactly. That's what I mean. And I think Grangetown will take it. I really do. But again, Ellesmere Port. It all depends. If Ellesmere,
Martin, you just really want Ellesmere Port to qualify, don't you?
I do, because it's that oh, you know, that sort of thing of like, for that to
Ellesmere Port, you have a number one fan, Martin from FPL. But he ain't going to give you free live streams.
No, man, I got to pay the wages. I got to pay for fuel and people and stuff. And look at all the tech I bring. Come on, what has the tech I bring? Right. Yeah, but if they beat Bury, mate, that's what I'm saying. Ooh.
Well, yeah.
I mean, this is interesting. Actually, if they do beat Bury, could that mean?
No, I think Bury will.
I'll let.
I think Bury will win the next two games.
I'm going to say pretty much 99%.
Where's Bury's second game? Oh, I think Bury will win their next two games, and I think that'll confirm them done.
Yeah. Okay.
I think. Who do you think will win out of Leeds and Oldham, Martin? Or could Leeds slip up against Ellesmere Port?
Man, it's going to give somebody some mental health issues, this one. Do I think Leeds will slip up? Leeds, I think I'm going to go with Leeds, mate.
Yeah.
They seem to just harness the energy and they pull the plays out and they just get on with it and they get the game done.
No, you're right, yeah.
So
they're not very emotional team, are they? They're very professional.
They seem to be, but you forget I see them, backstage because they all come. I've had to tell a few of them. You're not allowed to wait there. Richard will have a go at me, and they're all buzzing. And I walk through like where their training area is, and I see them all doing all their like Instagram posts and dances and whatever they're doing, and a bit of training. So, but Leeds, when they get on the court, mate, focused.
It is focused.
Yeah.
So, right, we're in the business end. Before we move on to this weekend's South fixtures, I'm going to put my neck out.
Go on.
This might be controversial.
Go on. Is this you predicting the four?
I'm gonna say the champions will be Oldham.
Oh,
I think they're again. I've seen it too many times. They're bubbling. They're bubbling for the perfect performance, and I think it'll come at the right time.
Let me know in the comments, people, what you think your top four is going to be. Go on.
But I'll say Oldham, Leeds, Bury, and I'm going to have to go Tameside for top four. Then I'm going to say Ellesmere Port, based on the running, Chorley, so Ellesmere Port, Chorley, Manchester Wildcats, and Grangetown for the championship finals, but not in any particular order.
Okay.
And then Northwich and Chester, just based on the run-ins, Northwich have. It's got a tougher running than the other teams. So that's how I think the cookie's going to crumble on by the time we get to April.
Leeds is going to win it, mate, and I believe that Grangetown rather than Tameside. That's why I think that's going to go in the top four.
There you go.
Leeds, Oldham, Bury, Grangetown. I think it's just going to stay the top 4. Simples.
There you go, mate.
There you
Happy
go.
days.
And what you're saying about the other 4?
Well, the championship ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say it'll be Ellesmere. For me, it'd be. I think it'd be Ellesmere, Grangetown, Chorley, Manchester Wildcats.
I'd go with that. As much as
Grangetown. I thought you said they're going to get promoted.
No, Northwich. No, I'm looking at Northwich. They'll be relegated, I think, judging by the games that I've been playing or will be played. So with Chester. So
there you go. There you go, people.
Let us know your predictions, because this is it. This is like, I mean, I'm not being funny. The review show prior to the April 13th games is going to be like, I might have to do the email that I send out like 3 days before, because it's going to.
I'll tell you what we can do, Martin. I was thinking this on the last games of the season. You need to set up a camera in the middle of the court, and you need to come in and interview just representatives of or I have a mic and interview the coaches prior to the game beginning. So do you know when you watch football and they go into the middle of the pitch, and
I can give you a mic, yeah.
So we can get the thoughts and feelings of the coaches going into the game, like the big games in the league. So I think that'd be really cool for the viewer to see that.
Yeah, no, but this is what we did in the south, wasn't it? Because we had available space. I mean, but we trialed something with Hayden that seemed to work. So yeah, we can do that actually.
Yeah, because that'd be cool.
Yeah, we got the super duper.
Make it a bit of a show.
Oh, always making the show. Always try my best, mate. Always try my best. Yeah. Tell us what you think about the live streams, people. By all means, nothing bad, all good stuff. If you don't mind. I don't see why we should have to
pay. if you want to watch the highlight reel, it's an 8-minute one tonight. So time is pushing on. So what I'm going to say is go onto our Facebook, go onto our Instagram, go onto YouTube, and check out the highlights from the under 13s Northern Conference. Some corkers in there. Especially my personal favourite is the buzzer shot from Harriet from Leeds Athletic.
Okay.
There you go. That's my first. So it is a long one. So I don't want. It's a bit of a long one. So
it's over 7 minutes, mate. So
yeah, it took me forever to do this morning. Yeah, but let's move on to this Saturday's games, which is the under 13s Southern Conference.
Yep.
Big game to start the day. We have Sutton Town taking on Starz. So we have first versus fourth. Then we have Ryland against AP Saints. Ryland pushing, who are third, playing AP Saints, who are bottom, pushing for a top 4 place. So Ryland will be relishing that game, thinking, we're playing bottom. Let's get a. They probably think it's a guaranteed win, but AP Saints they do improve over time. So you might catch them on a very good day for them. Team Bridge versus Sutton Town. So Team Bridge, their position doesn't really reflect how good they are. They are a really good, talented team, but just showcase how tough the league is, to be honest. So tough one there for Sutton Town.
Yeah.
They can't let their guard down on that one. But obviously the big one for them is a Starz game. Then Starz play Ryland. That's a really big game. So we got third at the moment versus fourth. So we've got first versus fourth, third versus fourth. So some big games there to kick the morning off. Then we have AP Saints Turnford. So we have second place Turnford playing bottom place AP Saints. Team Bridge versus Shan. Now Shan, they need to get going. They need to get motivated.
Yeah.
So a team that got 2. They come third or fourth. They come third. No, fourth. I think it's fourth. They come fourth. They come fourth last season. Yeah, they did. They come. I might be wrong, but they come in the top 8 of the Nationals, right?
Yeah.
So they need to get motoring. They've got Team Bridge and they've got Magic. No, that's a good Magic team, to be fair. So that's going to be a good game, Martin. Shan versus Magic. Watch out for that one. Aces versus Magic, Aces versus Little Sutton. So Aces, Little Sutton, relatively close to each other. Little Sutton will be thinking, I think this round presents an opportunity for Little Sutton potentially get back-to-back wins here. And if they do, they could be searching for a top 4 place leading into the last games of the season. So important round here for Little Sutton. They need to focus on this one because hold on, I'm looking at the wrong fixture list. They've got Turnford. So maybe I'm pushing you a bit too much there, Little Sutton.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, Shan versus Magic, big game. Aces versus Little Sutton. I think if Aces lose that one, they're going to find it difficult to come out of that relegation zone. Turnford, Little Sutton, Turnford against AP Saints. I think Turnford, they've had some tough games this season. I think these 2 games on paper are relatively easier. So I think they'll be thinking, right, let's just get these games out the way, and more or less them and Sutton Town, I can imagine, will be qualified into the grand finals. But then you've got Starz and Ryland, Magic, Shan, potentially Little Sutton, I think will be going for the top 4 spaces. So a lot to play for this weekend. As ever, make sure you come down, you support the girls. If you can't be there, remember, FBL it. FBL streamslive.com. Watch all the action via FBL on Saturday. Right. That leads us into the final thing of the evening, which is this constant clash of county tournaments and stuff, which are all springing up. Again, I'd like to say that, you know, I'm glad I'm helping them, because they obviously look at my fixtures and think, brilliant, we'll have our events on that day. I'll come and do your fixtures next season if you want. I'll try and avoid my dates, but the argument is this: I get more and more people, clubs, parents, saying to me, "Is this done on purpose?" Because everyone knows when your dates are. They're put out so early. There's no rhyme or reason why someone in that position would think, "Okay, I'll just stick it on that date, which is going to disrupt X amount of kids." It doesn't make any sense.
Where'd that come from? Sorry, I got a bit of dust there. A bit weird. Do you think they're just putting the dates out and that's what's available and that's why they're doing it?
I don't know. It's getting to a point where it doesn't seem like you can get it right so often in terms of clashing our league dates, especially in the Northwest. It's getting beyond the joke. Like it, you know. I kind of need to do a bit of investigation and work out what other dates they've been playing these games. Because if they have been playing more often and it's just a load of dates, and I get it. But if it's sporadically being set up and it unbelievably falls on our dates the whole time, I think it's a bit dodgy, to be honest. So again, if I don't understand why you would. Like our dates are accessible, so even if there's plenty of dates out there, I just don't know why you wouldn't just do a bit of research and go, okay, you know, the girls love the ENG league. I'm not going to stop them from doing that. I'm not going to be that person. Let's see if we can maybe throw out an alternative date, because parents are getting more frustrated. Clubs are getting frustrated because obviously they want to do well in the league and qualify for certain competitions, and the poor girls are being pulled from left to right, and it's not fair. But it's not fair on anyone, because obviously we've made a big financial commitment to run the league, which we know we sweat big time every season to hopefully trying to claw it all back. The parents have made a financial commitment, whether it's registering their players or coming to the games, traveling. So when you make such a big commitment, you want to see that commitment through. What you don't want is you come every round, support your child. You know, you buy the cups of teas. You're fully invested in the process. You're buying the live stream, So you're immersed in the process, and and everyone just wants to see how it all kind of plays out. And for that to be kind of taken away from you in certain points of the season, you're just kind of thinking it's just disruptive, and it doesn't seem fair. So I don't understand why counties cannot just either contact me and say, right, what dates are your league dates this season?
Well, they're on the website.
I know, but even if they can't be bothered to look at the website, maybe just go, okay, ENG, when are your dates? Let us know so we'll look at avoiding them. And then, or they could say to me, we're looking at doing things on these dates. Can you try it? And I'm all for that. Like at the start of every season, I avoid regional dates, the England school tournaments. I do my research and make sure we're avoiding as much as possible. But it just seems to me that these county people, they don't care less. They don't care whether the girls miss ENG or not. Whereas I care whether they miss their county events. Yeah. I don't want to take their county away from them. Why would I want to do that? But I can't wait for the county to put their dates out for me to put my dates out, because it just wouldn't.
You've got to book the courts and everything, so you can't.
Yeah, precisely.
And if you leave it too late, they'll go anyway, so you won't be able to do anything. So also you're pre-warning the clubs, aren't you? You're saying these are the dates we're on. Are you still involved in the league? Yes, we are. Blah blah blah. So or hang on, what have we got? Stop.
Go on, who's commented? Someone commented mine.
Somebody's put JJ. Do you know what? I'm just gonna get rid of those messages. But I don't know. Something about crisps. There you go.
Yeah. God, our listeners, they want to debate about crisps. So the point I'm trying to make is, we're not England Netball affiliated. We've reached out to England Netball, and we've had an online meeting with them back in the summer. Didn't come to anything. I think what they try and do is they just try and bring you into their little world to try and pick your brains a little bit to see where you're at.
Right.
And then once they kind of gauge kind of the direction you're going in, they'll take that information away and take it back to whoever. So I did reach out. They don't want to know. Even though the guy said to me, you are one of the top 5 private companies we would like to work with to help grow the sport. And I said to him, mate, name me the other 4.
Ooh. Do you want, mate, careful when you're walking out the house later, you know what I'm saying? You might not be able to get
I was like, who else is putting this much effort in? Please. Like, it's the most patronizing thing I've ever heard in my bleeding life. So, they didn't want to know. So I have reached out. They don't want to know. We're not England Netball affiliated. And again, you don't have to be to run a netball event. But surely the consideration to the parents and the children should still be there, regardless of whether we're affiliated or not. Because, like I've said a million times, unfortunately for some of these people, the girls love ENG. I'm not trying to say they don't love their county, and I'm not trying to say they don't love their pathways. But when they come to ENG, they feel like Super League players. The amount of parents that tell me how much their daughters love this league, it's just, I need to kind of put it onto the website as like a testimonial or something. But this league and the cup events give these kids the kind of the feel of being a professional, and no one else provides the service we provide. The infrastructure of the leagues and the cups and stuff, it doesn't exist in netball apart from ENG. So these girls are grabbing that energy and they're loving the experience. So at what point are these people going to recognize that and think to themselves, we would hate to take that away from the girls? Like the fact that, so maybe at what point can we work together with these counties, or what point are they willing to open up their doors and say, let's just work together. We're here to promote netball. We're here to grow the sport, to kind of nurture the talent that hopefully can go on and win World Cups and stuff like that. So let's just work together. Whether you're a private company or governing body recognised institution, you can still work together. Government works with private companies all the time. You know what I mean? There's trillion situations where private engages with what you'd call public or whatever. So yeah, but what they're going to do is, which is silly on their behalf, they're going to push people away because people will start to get fed up because they're going to be like, well, you're showing us no respect. You're showing us lack of consideration for what we've got planned and what we've committed to. Because it's not a case of whether they. So the message to the girls is, if you don't turn up, you don't get into pathway squads. You don't get into this. It's if they were to say to the girls, look, girls, we know you're committed to something else. Make the choice. It's up to you, because whether you go county or whether you go ENG, you're still playing good standard of netball. That's it. But the message is not that, Martin. The message is, you don't turn up to here, well, you ain't playing for your pathway. You're not going to be considered for this. You're not going to be considered for that. So they're threatening these kids and their parents, and the poor parents and the kids are kind of stuck in the middle of two things they want to do, whereas one side of the coin is not threatening no one and just basically saying, do what you want to do. Obviously, there's repercussions for the clubs if they don't turn up with and play their games, because we can't afford for games not to run. But we're not threatening no one. We're not saying you can't play. If you don't bring your best set of team, then players cannot play in our league ever again. They can do what they want. But there's that is where the line. That's where they're going wrong. It's the threats. It's the coercion. It's the manipulation of trying to kind of steer the outcome in their favour, whereas we don't do that. We just say, right, we're here if you want us. If you find a better option, then you go and find that better option. But it's frustrating. So maybe in the future we can work together. I can't. But
I'm sure
we'll see.
Again, frustrations there for the parents and for the kids and the players. It needs to be sorted out. It needs to be agreed upon. Like I said, like you say, if they send you a message saying that these are any potential problem with these dates because we can't be bothered to look on your website, because is there other leagues out there that have to look at 10 of them? We don't know, 5 of them, whatever. They said you're one of the top 5. So,
but they can't be. The thing is, there's certain products and services out there which are not as important. Like, they're just not. There's certain leagues that it's not performance minded. It's more recreational netball. You can provide a B team for the game because it's not intense and you're probably going to win it anyway. But this particular service we offer, it's a high intense product. It offers super competitive match play. It offers not just match play, but all the other stuff that goes with it. So unfortunately, a bit like myself, would I ever put anything on the England netball national final? Not a chance. I'd have to be the most, because I recognise how much it means to the kids and the clubs. This event's been going for 30, 40 years, whatever it's been going for. You have to recognise how much it means to someone. And I wouldn't want to pull people away from that event, because why? Because the kids love it. The kids want to go to it. They want to enjoy it. Thank me for them having a PA system, by the way, and a confetti cannon.
And one year they did live stream,
and potentially they might live stream it. But thank me for that.
Live streaming their Premier games and all that lot now, aren't they? I wonder why that is.
Yeah, no, we've done a lot for netball indirectly.
Reach out and speak to every. Funny that when I spoke to them all before, and then all of a sudden they started to live stream.
So again, that recognition has to be. Unfortunately for them, they have to recognise that this does mean a lot to the kids, and to kind of take them away from it purposely as well in some cases, is
Look,
naughty.
Again, having it on the same day. I mean, obviously teams have to work things out, but they shouldn't be saying you're not going to get into the pathway or whatever. If they're playing in a county league or whatever, teams can make the decision. You know, they might want to say, actually, no, we want to do the county league because we'll send the B team to ENG. But if they're leading the league and they're playing something that they know that they can beat, they might want to put their B team in the county league. Point is, he shouldn't be. You know, if you don't play, then you know what I mean. Your pathway is done. So that's unfair. So,
they're terribly unfair.
The kids decide where they want to play, and the coaches obviously, because the coaches are like, well, we've got a big game in the ENG league, and we're going.
Well, no, sorry, it's not even the coaches who are deciding it. It's they're having county play dates. So the girls that are selected for county all come together and have like a little play date.
Right.
So do you remember they did that county tournament? And then
you're going to bring that up.
Well, this stems back a couple of years. They put a county tournament on at late notice on the day of my grand finals. And everyone boycotted the county tournament, rightly so, because they had a prior commitment.
Yeah.
So after that, they all kind of got their knickers in a twist and kind of thought, oh, what do we do? How do we stop? So what they did the season after is stick it back on the date of my competition.
And then they brought in this thing that if you don't get the.
And then they get girls to sign agreements to say, if a county thing comes up, you have to go to the county thing because it may affect your pathway.
Not on.
Sad. But the person writing that fake is a tip for you, everyone. First 3 letters of contract, CON.
Yes, con.
There you go. So frustrating. I can't believe they just can't identify what's good for the girls and how and kind of work themselves around it. Like in May, there's plenty of opportunities in May to get these county play dates going. Even June, like there's plenty of opportunity. Or half terms, do it in half terms. That's a good idea. You don't want to do it in half terms because that disrupts you, then, doesn't it? You just want to disrupt You just want to disrupt the ENG. So not getting frustrated with it.
I think he's had his little. Right, let's move on, bud.
No, well, we're done now, mate.
I know.
Mr. Organised here gets all his dates done in July.
Yeah,
and I'm getting
July your dates for the next year.
Say again.
When did you release your dates for the next coming
July?
Season? July, yeah. So there you go, people. He released in July. Well, I'm going to say he released in July.
There you go. So
it's up to parents what they do with it all.
If you watch tonight, thank you for watching. If you've got any comments, or if you're a parent that's frustrated at all these clashes, then comment. I'm going to throw a few things up on Instagram to kind of get some feedback. But got Saturday and Sunday big day, under 10s netball cup, under 12s netball cup. Under 12s netball cup is filled with the youth netball Premier League team, so it's going to be a great insight into how these grand finals are going to pan out and stuff like that, Martin. So good day ahead.
Yeah, very good day, mate. I tell you, looking forward to this weekend. It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Right. All right. Have a good one, mate.
And you too. Thanks, everybody. Don't forget, follow us, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. And we'll see you, if not on the weekend, next week. Bye.